Hello and welcome to In the Weeds. We're recording live from the Picky Weeds Esoteric Occult Boutique, located just south of Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, in beautiful South Abington Township. Picky Weeds is the largest and most diverse boutique of its kind in Northeast Pennsylvania, with an increasingly wide variety of items for many traditions.
In addition to items for sale, Picky Weeds hosts a wide variety of classes, events, and community-driven gatherings throughout the year. Picky Weeds is located at 105 Layton Road, South Abington Township, PA. Open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. More information can be found at www.pickyweeds.com. That's PICKEYWEEDZ.com, or on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. In the Weeds is the official podcast for Picky Weeds, where we strive to bring the community together with topics of interest, guest speakers, and informative discussions to benefit the entire community.
If you'd like to be a guest speaker, either live or remote call-in, please visit www.pickyweeds.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, find In the Weeds podcast guest application, click it, copy and paste the text into an email with your contact information, and send it to us at pickyweeds@gmail.com.
Now let's get in the weeds. Good morning, guys. How is everybody? Hi, Jennifer. What's happening? This morning is episode 20 of season 2, and it's all about what you're fed up with. What are you just absolutely freaking fed up with, and you just need to vent to anybody to listen and get it off your back, like the monkey that it is. What are you fed up with, John?
Clark Summit drivers.
Oh my God. So when are we going to start that video series?
I swear.
Bad drivers in the Summit.
You can make an entire podcast just on the shitty driving habits of people in this town. And it didn't used to be that way.
No.
When we moved here in 2018, people were normal. It was awesome. When you were at a traffic light intersection and the light turned green, the person opposite you without a protected left didn't just decide to cut in front of you and turn left. Fast forward to the influx of people that have moved here, and I don't know what traffic laws they had, but what the fuck?
Oh my God, the guy driving in traffic at night with his knees with the map light on, reading a fucking book.
The one eating a bowl of soup.
That was crazy.
Literally eating a bowl of soup.
The one that passed us in the turn lane going uphill in a blind curve.
Yeah, the big hill going up into the summit. There's traffic. It's rush hour. Traffic in the left lane wasn't moving fast enough. He cuts across both double yellow lines, goes up the hill, narrowly misses an innocent person.
In the turn lane, about 75, 80 miles an hour.
Oh my
God.
God.
A 35. In a 35. I'm like, oh my God.
So I don't know if anybody's ever seen the podcast I've Had It.
Yes, love those ladies.
And it's two ladies that get on there and just vent. Well, and it could be any subject. It's just, I've had it. And what have you had it with? So
I'm just fed up.
This is kind of a salute to that.
An homage to the ladies.
Yeah. And if you haven't had a chance, they're on Spotify and all that. It's called I've Had It. Definitely worth a listen.
They're freaking hilarious.
Really funny.
Oh.
But yeah, the traffic, it just drives me absolutely nuts, and they're scary. I mean, you take your life in your hands every time. And
in 3 miles, you always see at least 3 near miss accidents, if not an accident.
Yeah.
You know, in 3 miles, that's what it takes us to get here.
It's terrifying.
It's insane. And then the amount of road rage.
Oh yeah, they'll flip you off when they cut you off.
I'm carrying you, stupid idiot. And I'm at the end of my rope, and I'm frustrated, and I don't like you anyway. So yeah, don't start that shit with me.
Yeah. I don't get it. And you hardly ever see Clark Summit PD have anybody pulled.
Oh no, never. They just sit in their office.
Dude, you could literally sit in Coloruso's parking lot and fill a ticket book with stupid
in 15-20 minutes. I'm serious. It's insane.
I really wish they'd take a more proactive approach, because South Abington, on the other hand, they will get you.
They are not playing.
But Clark Summit, come on, guys.
Yeah. Oh my
God. What's going on? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're busy.
Excuse me.
And talking about I've had it. How about that cough?
Oh my God, I've had it with that cough.
Yeah.
So who else has got this cough? Like, you're not really sick, but you can't shake that nasty, ragged cough with the wheeze, and it hangs on for months. Who else has got that? I want to hear from you. I asked about it last week. I want to hear it, especially if you found something that works for it, because I've thrown everything at it. Everything at it.
It sounds like you smoked like 6 packs of Camels.
It does. Oh, my God. Or Cools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Pall
rough.
Mall filterless.
Yeah, we've been married 28 years, but we still cuddle.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of sleep, and I'll lay over on her stomach, and she'll cough, and it about knocks my head into the ceiling. I'm like, good God.
I'm like, you okay?
I'm going to be here in a cervical, what do they call it? Cervical collar?
You definitely are.
What happened to you? Take off.
Oh, my God.
It's not her fault. That shit is just terrible, and it's almost impossible to get rid of. It's just horrible. Everything you throw at it, it goes away for a little bit and comes roaring right back.
It does. It's terrible. And worse the next time around, it seems, and harder to get rid of. And they're calling it like the 90-day cough, the 100-day cough, because they don't have a clue what the hell it is.
Mm-mm.
And I really don't think they're trying to report that they know exactly what it is. And they're just not saying. And it's kind of disgusting, because I know so many people with it that have come in and said that they've had it over the last year off and on. I've had it like 9 returns, and I'm sick of it. I'm not a cat. I don't have 9 lives. I don't need 9 returns. I've had it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's rough, and I know there's a lot of people going through it too, because we hear it from a lot of customers that are coming in and going through the same thing.
Oh yeah, I tell you though, dude, I have had it with politics lately.
Oh my God.
Do you know how many people I have asked if they knew what Project 2025 was, and they had no freaking clue? And this is a detriment to us as an entire country, but especially our community. This community right here is in extreme danger if this party gets in November and implements the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, because they're going to turn this country into a theocracy.
I mean, did you like The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah, right.
Would you like to enjoy it live and in person?
Because this looks worse.
Is.
It looks worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna take all the powers away from the Senate and Congress, and all the powers that control the office, the executive office, that keep them in check. So they're going to take all those checks and balances away. So what does that leave you with, children? I feel like Chef. What does that leave you with, children?
Chocolate salty balls?
Chocolate salty balls. It leaves you with a dictator. You'll have a king, a dictator. You'll have a theocracy. What a lovely thought. We too can be Iran. Mm-hmm. We can be just like them.
You remember the pictures of, what is it? Is it Afghanistan? Before the takeover of the
Iran, actually, 1970s.
The theocratical government.
Yeah.
Women wore whatever they wanted.
Which we installed, by the way.
Yeah. Mini skirts, dresses, whatever they wanted. Whatever made them feel good. They could wear anything.
And they went to college, and they drove cars, and they had high-paying jobs, and they taught in society.
And then the religious fundamentalists took over, and now they're dressed in bed sheets where you can see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah, fully covered.
If that's your religion, hey, no disrespect if that's what you like. But when you look at it in terms of freedom and equality through that lens, it's what the fuck?
Can't drive, can't teach, can't speak to a man, can't look a man in the eye.
Yeah, you were going to go to Saudi, but why'd you turn it down?
Because I would die within the first 5 minutes. I worked for Daniels International, and they were going to do some work on a base there. And I was like, oh, I would love that. You get the first $75,000 a year is tax-free, and everything after that's kind of just gravy anyway, you know. Amazing opportunity to make a lot of money that you weren't going to make here stateside. And then I got told, you're going to have, if you leave the base, you're going to have 2 men escort you at all times.
Such bullshit.
And when you're out, you need to look down, because you can't look a man in the eye in public here.
You'd last about 5 seconds. What the fuck are you looking at, bitch?
Yeah, oh my God. I loved construction. You know why I loved construction? Because I gave as good as I got.
Absolutely.
And it became a rapport. And so it was something you actually, when you first came on site, you're like, you fucker, how dare you talk to me like that? And then you start giving it back as good as you get it, and you start to look forward to it. So you begin to start shit. So there'll be shit.
I'm practicing on you today. Come here, meat.
Yes. Bring that weak ass shit on up in here, meat. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of female customers that work traditionally male jobs that do a fucking awesome job.
They do.
Everything from truck drivers to shop work, you name it.
There's no thin skin on these ladies.
Get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah.
You know, and I love it. Love it. It's awesome because should be no such thing as a male job.
No. Should be no such thing as a female job.
No, absolutely not.
Because when we're talking about that, let's look back at the 1940s, 1950s, right after we came out of World War II. Prior to that, people lived in a family unit. There were several generations living in the same house. And then we got what the party of the right likes to call the nuclear family and act like it's been an institution. It's only decades old.
Yeah.
It's a minute old. It's never been a thing. Mm-mm. So when the soldiers came back from World War II, it was all these like Sears and Roebuck houses you could buy on the cheap and all these pop-up middle-class community housing, single family units. And that's what happened. That's why we declined. That's why we're so tired. We're so angry and we're shooting each other. Is because when we go home, the onus is on us. Okay, all the problems are ours, all the solutions are ours, all the work is ours, and we have no family unit working together to complete the task. So we're wiped out because we have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the mortgage now.
Yep.
And then you come home and you've still got all that house cleaning, all that cooking for the week to do, all that laundry to do, the yard work to do, and you've got nobody to support you. There's no support system. So they came in, they sold a bill of goods right after World War II and told people how great it would be to live as an autonomous person and to have a single family home where you had your privacy and you could be just exactly who you were. But they didn't tell you that the caveat was that you were going to give up all the support and you were going to now have to pay child support because you didn't keep the elders in your house, and they were the ones that were generally responsible for taking care of the kids while the younger family members worked. They didn't tell you that you weren't going to have brothers and sisters that were going to help you farm and help you clean and help you take care of things, that all of this was going to be left solely in your lap. And you were going to have to figure out how to do it as a single person working to try to pay a mortgage.
Oh, it's almost impossible. You know, if you don't have a network, it's really hard because childcare is just absolutely ridiculously expensive.
And try to get in childcare around here.
And then you have to have that, even if you can afford it, you have to have the trust with that person, with your child. You know, you look at all the damn chomos around here.
Oh, my God.
It's ridiculous.
That's another thing I'm fed up with.
Chomos?
Chomos.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, my God, I'm so sick of it. And I'm like, why are we not locking them up and throwing away the key?
Yeah.
Yeah, and keeping them out of the general population around our children.
Yeah.
You know, if you truly believe that the kids that you're raising are the kids that are going to grow up and then be solely responsible for your care, why are you letting them be abused?
Yeah.
Why are you letting them be tortured?
Well, you know, I think there's a modicum of trust too. Like, so you go to a daycare, they have all these licenses and certifications and all, and you feel like, okay, well, it's not just some random person, but it is some random person. It absolutely is. And you don't know who they've hired.
You can certify to be anything.
Background check doesn't mean anything if they haven't been caught yet.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I don't know, it's terrifying.
And so much now is not locked up in true education anyway. They're doing these online certifications, and you'll notice that even major corporations are doing that. So when you go in to get trained, you remember how you used to have a trainer when we were coming up, and they would shadow you, and then their top person would shadow you for a while you were training. Now you're getting trained by AI, and you're getting trained sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
So you've not been vetted at all. So you're letting people in who nobody really knows who that person is. Nobody really knows what they're all about. Nobody knows how they're going to respond to pressure, you know, but they're just letting them in the building, and they're letting them be in care of your children and take care of your elders and in nursing homes.
Because it's cheaper for corporations. It's another thing I'm sick of. Yeah. Cheaper for corporations to just buy a bank of computers and some software and go, okay, well, you passed the test, you're trained.
Yeah, and they sit you in a room with a headset on.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
And you take some test. know. And then you go out on the floor and you try to put that into, the real-time action and try to remember that from what you learned watching a video.
Yeah, and most of the time it was written by somebody who hasn't done the job.
Yeah.
So they don't really know the nuances of the job.
They have no clue A to B to C to D.
And so you got a whole host of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Literally the blind leading the blind.
And then you're firing them and you're ruining the reputation and stuff. But you didn't freaking train them.
Yeah.
They had no idea what they were in for and what they were facing.
Yeah, that's what boggles my mind, like corrections, and I know PA does the same thing that North Carolina did.
That's crazy.
And they'll hire you, and then you're just thrown in the block. Well, you can't really do anything. You're just there. Yeah, but
you're in the block.
You're still in the block without any training whatsoever because their turnover rate is so high that they don't want to spend the money on training.
Here's
until
a clue,
you
idiot.
can handle it.
Your turnover rate is so high because your people aren't trained when they go in there and they're terrified. And now they have PTSD when they're quitting and coming out.
Yeah.
It's you. You are the problem. It's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Train the people.
I couldn't believe it. And then when I went to training, it's led by people that couldn't hack it.
Yeah. It's insane.
And you can tell immediately just the way they're all hondo.
Oh, yeah.
And that ain't...
What would you do in this situation?
Yeah, that ain't the way it is, man. You can't go in there all hondo.
And the first thing they go to is gun or baton.
Yeah.
Well, number one, you can't carry a gun in the cell block, you dipshit.
Yeah.
Number two, baton's just going to get taken away from you when there's a riot. And it's going to get shoved up your ass. Yeah. So you better learn how to use your head.
Yeah.
And you better learn how to talk to people.
Yeah. That's the number one skill.
Yeah.
And they don't teach that.
Yeah, no, they don't because they don't understand it.
Now, the old heads will teach you that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not just talking about old head corrections.
No, you're talking about the old heads on the block.
Old head convicts will teach you better than I learned more from them than anything.
Oh God, yeah, they're the ones that honestly I think are keeping it in control.
Oh, absolutely.
The youngers are scared of
100%.
them. Yeah,
absolutely.
They're not stepping on Pa's toes at all. No,
if they do, they find out real quick. Well, that's not a good plan.
Yeah. He'll get hooked up real quick.
But training matters, though. And I mean, Michigan, to its credit, they put you through a boot camp.
Yeah.
Like it's a paramilitary boot camp led by Marine drill instructors.
Oh, yeah.
And they beat the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we PT
as it should be
everywhere we went. Going to chow, you're PTing on the way there. Coming back from chow, you're PTing on the way back. Yeah. Going to lunch break, you're PTing there. You go to smoke break, you're PTing there.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we going to do after we get done with this exam? Guess what? PT.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
we had to duck walk and quack like ducks and sound off because I had a Marine recon drill instructor that thought that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
And
it built some ties, though.
It was cool.
There's a point to that.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of you because you never know what the fuck you're going to run into.
Yeah.
And
my fat ass, I need to duck walk around this building about 50 times.
Look at nuclear training. Yeah. They beat the shit out of us in nuclear training.
Yeah, they did.
It's fucking
it was tough.
January. It's cold as a motherfucker, and you're running with 75 pounds of gear around the cooling tower, which is spraying cold ass water into your lungs, and you're heaving it in because you're running with all this gear. You got to climb, ascend 3 flights of stairs, and these are not little flights of stairs. These are like 30 stairs a flight.
Yeah.
And it's concrete, no handrails, straight up.
Yeah.
And then do a radio check without sounding like you're out of breath.
Yeah.
So they have to be able to understand you.
But when you started on day one on your job after your training, you felt like you knew what you were doing.
No, I still didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
You were nervous, but
I was
you
lost
felt
in the block like everybody else.
Oh my God.
But I did feel a little bit more prepared, but and it was intensive training, and it wasn't like 1 week, 2 weeks. It was like, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, it was long.
And then you were partnered with senior officers for a good while.
Yeah.
It was a couple of months, I believe. I don't know. It's been a long time, 20 years ago. And I'm sure things have changed since then. But they beat the crap out of you, and they put pressure on you. You had physical exams. You had
it was like being in the military.
Exams.
It literally was.
Well, it was run by military people.
Mostly Navy and Marines.
And when we did like the Force on Force drills, we went up against Delta.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's serious business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know about it. They take nuclear energy or security like it's nothing. We'd always
act like it's rent-a-cops. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh no, far from it.
You're a private fucking army.
Yeah.
We had 17
nuclear
qualifications.
Militia.
You had to keep up. You had 3 chances to pass it. Only 2 of which were guaranteed. Third was up to them whether they give it to you or not. And if you don't get 80%,
oh yeah,
you lost your job.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
And it just takes once. So like the NRC required us to do weapons calls on and physical calls once a year, but we had to do it twice. Once for Uncle Sam, and once for Denny.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, and
he was an old Marine DI though.
Yeah. I got to say, the Marine guys that I worked with, I kind of understand why, because their discipline was phenomenal, and their work ethic was phenomenal, and they were fucking nuts, crazy, not afraid of anything. Yeah. And they were great to work with I make
fun of them and remind them they're a department of the Navy every chance I get. But they're dead serious guys.
Somebody's got to drive.
Yeah, somebody's got to drive. Y'all can't get there. You're too busy being angry and Honda ready to kill something. So what happened to your computer over there?
I don't know. Facebook Live. There we go. We're back.
We're back. That is bizarre. You got the little man with the broken face.
His sad face.
His puzzle piece broken face. I feel like a puzzle piece broken face this morning. So is anybody out there and got any pet peeves that they want to talk about? What's griping you? What are you tired of? Because I'm tired of all the spiritual people that tell you every day how positive you've got to be and how you've got to get up every day and make these positive affirmations, and every time something traumatic happens to you, stop and make a positive affirmation and change it, and that you can manifest anything you want in the world just by being positive and making affirmations every day. No, and John banged on the bowl. It's the gong, but you have got to put your hands on it. You've got to see it. You got to envision it, and then you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
The trick to it is seeing it so you can put in the work. That is the trick of seeing point A, point B, point C, point D, how to get from nowhere to what you envision yourself being is actual work. You can't just manifest it without actually doing it. It's a bunch of hooey. And you can think it all you want to be it. But if you don't do some work on being it, you're just going to be where you are. I'm sorry. That's as plain as I can be.
You know what I'm fed up with?
What?
People coming in the store trying to raise money for donations for their kids' dance club,
and I've never met
softball team, Girl Scouts, academic teams. I got it. Whatever. Can you guys make a basket for this? Can you donate for that? And they don't even shop here.
Yeah. Never seen you before in my life.
From Adam's House Cat, but they come in with their hand out.
Yeah.
Because that's the expectation of a small business, right? Is that you're always there to... Well, look, lady, if we're broke...
Yeah.
Like so many of us small business people are just barely scraping by.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, that's most of us right now.
Yeah. I'd say a good 98% of us.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
I don't have it to give you.
Yeah.
Even if I wanted to. And some of them I have wanted to, even though they don't shop with us. But it's... You don't even shop with us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is
the
a
audacity.
Give and take relationship.
Yeah.
You know, if we know you or whatever, then we're a lot more apt to, you know, support you or whatever. I mean, that's just common sense.
Or can I come in and hang my business card?
Yeah, and you don't ever fucking
and then you want to turn around and leave after you hung it without, helping the store out.
We're the public.
We're not the community board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not in the college lunch hall.
It's just and it really shows how people are so wrapped up in their own bullshit.
Yeah,
that they don't have it translates through their driving. The way people drive and their etiquette or lack thereof, it translates in the way, like the people in the grocery stores that come there and have conversations.
Yeah.
And block the entire fucking aisle.
And then give you the stink eye when you ask them to let you get by.
My favorite is the lady at Aldi's every fucking weekend. I try to beat her to the bananas because if I don't, she stands in front of the bananas and she starts picking one banana off of each thing until she gets all the bananas that instead of just reaching in and grabbing a fucking thing of bananas like every normal person does. No, we have to size comparison, color, squeeze test it, and I'm going to take that one, and she's just shorting every single one until she gets like 10 separate bananas to put in her. I'm like, and she takes like 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Which is about how long my patience lasts for grocery shopping. Like, could you just
he
please
is literally in and out in 15 minutes.
get the fuck out of the way, or let me grab like what I got to get, and you can take all the time you want. But it's just
she's afraid you'll get her more than perfect banana.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Oh my God,
What is
that's
wrong
her
with you?
banana, John. What's wrong with you? Let her have the banana.
Or the ones that go, that's my parking spot.
Yeah.
It's a public parking spot. No, but that's where I park.
Or the ones that park here and tell their friends to park here.
Oh, yeah.
I got a clue for you. If you own a business and there's parking, you're paying for a certain allotted number of spots in your monthly lease.
Yeah.
That is not your parking spot, Becky.
Yeah. Oh, no.
That is not your parking spot to walk the walk trail.
What's it going to hurt if I just want to walk the walk trail?
Bring your ass in and pay so I can pay for your parking spot. You know?
Especially when there is a parking space for them.
For the park.
For the public.
Literally a huge one at the school.
And we saw on Facebook that somebody new to town was like, where do I park for the walking trail over by Layton Road?
And Becky.
And this bitch was like, I just park in the business parking lot after hours. They don't care. There are literally no parking signs
everywhere.
Big red fucking letters, and they'll park right in front of them. I don't see the problem.
Private business parking only.
But it's this lack of empathy.
You know how tempting it is since that fence is missing to go over there and push that car over the edge?
I swear.
Yeah.
It's just the audacity, and they don't give a shit.
And get mouthy with the girl that owns the beauty shop down there.
Oh, yeah. And she's the sweetest person in the world.
Oh, my God. They're both nice. Danielle and John are amazing. But it's the audacity and the White Walkers that walk in our parking lot. I am fed up.
Yeah, so why do we call them White Walkers?
Because they're like the Game of Thrones White Walkers walking through the parking lot. And you're walking on private property. They walk all around our building. They look in the cars, people. And then you go to get out of the car, and they look at you like you don't belong there, and you're the one paying for the space.
You're on private property.
Yeah, they're giving you the stink eye from hell. They're really rude.
Yeah.
They're peering in your windows. I shit you not. Step up in the landscaping and look in the window to see what's in here. If you did that at my house, I'd probably shoot you.
Yeah. The entitlement. And
oh, my God.
It's just, look, we got to stop.
Yeah.
We got to stop.
Respect people, damn it.
Start giving a shit about your fellow person.
Yeah. What is that?
And
I think that's internet. I think that's social media. I think that they've
don't
lost
know.
all empathy
Maybe.
and all compassion because they can hide behind their keyboard and say whatever it is they really feel. And when they're out in public, they're scared to be their real self, but they get behind this thing and all of a sudden they're a cell warrior and they can say whatever and don't care at all who it hurts or what that person is going through. And let me tell you something. We're going through some things. You're taking your life in your hands. There's a lot of people in that position right now. Everybody is going through a lot of stress and a lot of pain because of this economy. And they feel frustrated, tortured. They don't see any end to it. They can't figure out how they're going to pay their bills and buy food and buy their medicine. Or if they're going to have Social Security when it comes time to draw.
Yeah.
And if not, what are we going to do? Because we're going to be working for the rest of our lives. And I'm telling you, we're tired.
Yep.
There's so many people working 2 or 3 jobs that don't own anything and don't have a chance in this world of making it.
So we'll have wheelchair races at
Yeah,
Picture Reads.
pretty much.
What are you guys got going on this weekend? Well, we're having wheelchair races.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to do it. Pretty much going to do it. But I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the way people talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm fed up at the way that you come after small business online. Do you know how many bad reviews of small businesses I've written?
None.
Check it.
None.
0.
I don't care if it was bad
I've had some bad
service.
experiences, but I would never do that to a small business. And I don't care if I like you or not, Karen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
the ones that make the effort to make a fake account.
Yeah.
They hide behind that. They
We've
make a
had
fake
3
account,
of those recently.
And then come up with some crazy shit that never happened.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like, call me trash behind closed
Are
doors.
you sure you got the right address?
I don't even know you, bitch.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
I mean, what degree of infantile insecurity do
I
you
had
have
to laugh
have?
because I'm like,
it's just.
I'm like, do you know that with that kind of harassment that I can file a suit and subpoena the records, find out exactly who you are, and then sue you.
Defamation.
Yeah, for defamation of character.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Facebook knows who you are.
Yeah.
And guess what Facebook has to do to a subpoena?
And you're like, I ain't got no money to give you, so you won't win much in court. I'll put a judgment on your ass.
You know,
and
I just
you won't
don't
get any credit.
I don't even get the premise of why you would even do that. Like, do you really have that little going on in your life that you have to harass people who are struggling to make it?
And there's a lot of people
You know?
out here that,
It's pathetic.
that this is a last-ditch effort to save their lives.
Yeah.
They are struggling every day. And
Yep.
these businesses are having to take side gigs and having to do festivals just to make ends meet so they can pay their damn lease.
Yeah.
And you're coming at them like this?
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you, you chicken-hearted little shit.
It's bullshit. You know what I mean? Look, we've got friends that are small business owners too that have had to take. One of them has had to go back to work.
Yeah.
So that they can keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Because they had to.
Yeah.
It's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
They had to do it. Mm-hmm. And for that to happen, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because running a business is not easy.
No.
It takes over your entire life.
Yeah.
You
You don't
no
have the
other
bandwidth
life.
to do anything else.
And now you gotta carve out a space mentally and physically to either drive into there, or if you're lucky enough to get a remote gig, you still have to engage and be locked into that job to
And
perform.
absolutely focused or you're not getting paid.
And at the same time help or run your business on the side. And I mean, it's really, really hard.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
insane.
you have some punk bitch with nothing else to do, who's probably living with their parents still. I'm going to write a bad review on them and fuck them up. You know what I mean? What kind of a fucking awful person are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's a sad, insecure, little angry person is what it is. That's all it is.
It's, I don't know, man. What kind of person would do something like that? It's terrible.
It's a very base human being that'll do that.
You know?
Very base.
And they get off on causing misery to other people, which I will never understand.
What was that old saying? Misery loves company.
But what's the end game there? What are you trying to accomplish? You know? So if somebody does read it and actually takes it seriously, like they didn't know us or any other business that goes through that, they're going to believe you.
Yeah.
You know, when they can come in day after day and they're treated like gold and, customer service from the beginning to the end and whatever we can do to help, which one are they going to believe?
And take hours out of our day to talk with you when you've had a really, really rough time, because we've been there and we know that sometimes all somebody needs is somebody to listen to them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's part of the gig.
Most of these places that we grew up going to, they didn't give a shit, and they'd tell you they didn't give a shit. They didn't care. And they'd stare at you, that blank stare, like you were beneath them or shit on their shoe. Or they wouldn't even look up when you came through the door. They wouldn't say hi. They wouldn't acknowledge your presence. They'd take your money and mumble at you and throw your change back at you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much it. They wanted to be edgelordy, dark oogity boogity. They're, it's a
Well, they
story.
weren't interested in community or anything like that.
No.
It was just about making the dollars and going home at night.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it'd be easy to be like that. I mean, there are days that I really don't need updates on your personal life.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information.
Yeah.
But
But I'll listen anyway.
But I don't care. That's part of the gig.
Yeah,
and,
I will absolutely listen. Because you never know when that might save somebody's life.
Is it exhausting some days? Yeah, it really is. Oh, I just wanted to update you on what I'm like. We're not keeping track, honey.
No, honey, I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to refresh me.
Yeah.
And, but the way that mental health is nowadays and the way that this world treats people, and it's such a cold, don't give a shit about anything but myself type of place, that if I can take 5 minutes out of my day to let you vent, I'll gladly do it, just because I know how important that is to me. If I've had a bad day, and she can attest to 28 years of me venting like a motherfucker, and
Same.
the same, right? That's you signed on for that, right? And we signed on for that when we opened the store with a big ass fucking counter that welcomed those kind of conversations, and that's part of it.
We have them on the daily.
Don't feel bad about it, but at the same time, realize when you're in hour 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe move on. But that's part of having a community, is where you can come in and my favorite comment is when people come in and they're like, I just feel so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can be me and not have to wear this mask all the time.
It's absolutely what we want.
And that's when it becomes more than just a store.
Yeah.
And it's something a little bit more important. And it's more important for that reason for me.
Oh, yeah.
Sincerely.
If there's nothing going on in the event space and there's a space for them, I tell them, go back there and chill out and relax. Lay down and put a pillow on the floor.
Yeah.
Take a break from the world. Go outside and hug my tree and scream. You know,
because you know, look, Tim and Tina's meditation has been fantastic, and
Primal Scream,
more so than any of the other meditation circles that we've ever had here. I think it's 1,000 times more genuine.
Yeah.
Because
there's no cosplay in it.
She's cut the guruship out of it. She has definitively said, I don't want to be anybody's guru.
Yeah.
This is about, you know, helping me and everyone else. Yeah. And that is the best position to take.
She's like, I just didn't want to meditate alone. It's so much easier to meditate with
it. And it is for a lot of people. You hear that from a lot of people.
Well, because you've got to force yourself to be a little more still for them so that they can get into the zone. And so it kind of makes you have a little empathy for other people and a little consideration for other people. And that in turn kind of makes you be still. Yeah. And it's easier in that environment. I get that.
And I get that. Primal Scream doesn't hurt.
Yeah, not at all.
So every week they go out and everybody, when the fire alarm or the 6 o'clock siren goes off, there's a bunch of screaming up on this hill. And I know there's at least 2 or 3 people on that walking trail that have probably had to change their shorts when they
White Walkers
come walking through there. But it was such a great idea, and it's therapeutic. Yeah. You know, to get all that rage built up from the week out of you. And then just come in and, you know, she plays like a pre-recorded meditation, and then they do a little fire ceremony. Yeah. And the relief of people coming out of there is like, you can see it on their faces, whether they admit it or not. Yeah. You know, it's like, they really needed that. Yeah. You know, and if we can provide a place where people, number one, feel safe in being whoever they are, legitimately, genuinely who they are, and then get that rage out with, and you develop that bond with the other people that are there. And I mean, even Sunday school, where we have this bawdy ass irreverent game, which is highly offensive if you have thin skin, but it's created such a bond amongst the people that have attended. You know, they're so welcoming to anyone that wants to join. They just deal you right in, or if you got to leave, they'll deal you right out. There's no judgment.
They're bringing treats, they're bringing drinks, and having a good time.
That's also put on by Tim and Tina. Yeah, and
it's a big party. That's all it is. It's a big party.
A body party. She started a book club, Cliterature. Yes, which is you know, it's awesome. But it's a bonding thing, and it's not about Tim and Tina. It's about the community, and I love it. I love that. It's not about, look at me and I studied for 20 years and blah blah blah, and here's my certificates of all this thing. No, it's just wrapping your arms around the community.
That is my pet peeve right there. Yeah. The people I know that are indigenous don't give certificates for becoming a medicine healer.
No.
There's no such fucking thing. That is a white girl thing. That is a totally, we bilk the Americans out of some money for a certificate kind of thing. And let me tell you something, I don't disagree with them. You had it coming. Yeah. Go and pull your time and actually help that community and actually work with that tribe and actually learn from that tribe and actually be a sustaining member.
You should be contributing more than you're taking.
Yes, absolutely. You know? And then if you really, really want to learn, you will learn. You will learn, though, by giving back. Yep. But if you want them to take your money, they'll take your money. Yep. I don't blame them. Yep. At all.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why we really don't do any kind of energy healing here anymore, other than 2 exceptions, and that's because we know them.
Yeah, personally.
We've known them for a while.
And they've shown themselves to be ethical, which is rare.
Why we don't just let anybody read tarot here anymore. Yeah. Because we've had some experiences. Yeah. And we're not going to name names or anything, but they know who they are.
But they panned out just recently that our feelings were absolutely correct, and I was horrified how dead on we were about that situation with that particular reader.
You can fuck around only so much, and it's going to catch up to you.
It was far worse than I thought it was going to be, John. Yeah, it was far more. Oh my God, it was vile. Yeah, yeah. I think I was in shock. At the same time that I was feeling pretty vindicated for removing the person from the premises.
Oh, yeah. And we were vilified for removing them and banning that organization. Mm-hmm. We were absolutely, Absolutely. How dare you.
Name put on Front Street, called horrible people.
Talk shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't care what you think. I don't give a fuck. If you hurt somebody here,
fuck
and
you.
I know that you hurt somebody here when this place is under my protection, fuck you.
Fucking batteries, dude.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Do you need to hit a menthol one?
Yeah, just lay it where I can grab it so I can cough on that fucking menthol shit.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Y'all missed it. The first couple of attempts at running the Facebook Live this morning which probably should have left them up for comedic value. God. And John's like, where's my phone? I'm like, I don't know. Where is your phone? Oh God, it was me. I was using his phone to stop the Facebook Live.
Recording us now.
Oh, you got to stop the live so I can get the login information for the laptops to stop the live. Get back over here. Sit down. Can't see me in camera. Got to get back up. Moving the camera. Oh my God. No, John, you're going to have to move over. I can't get us back in frame with a shitty camera.
It's old people.
Old people in electronics. And here I thought I was electronically savvy, having built my own 8080 back when computers first came out. It's us. We're the problem.
We're old people. It's us. I don't mind being old people. I earned these aches and pains, you know.
So getting down to that what we were just talking about. If you want to practice here, you have to be safe for this community, because there's one thing I'm going to tell you. I love these people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the whole community gets on the nerve. Okay. The only time that happens is when I know that there's a charlatan in your midst that everybody's just kind of bowing down to, and they're the greatest things since sliced bread, and I can see that they're not what they purport themselves to be. Mm-hmm. And then there's been a whole lot of hurt and angst in the last year, people revealing themselves to be something they were not.
Yep.
And so no matter how intuitive I actually am, sometimes I hang that cloak up and try to just be here for the community face to face. Just John just made hitting a menthol vape when he's not a menthol vapor. That was lovely. Do it again there, Gene. Let's see.
Settle down.
But no, if that, even me, because when we first opened, rose-colored glasses, naivety. Hi,
we didn't know shit.
Yeah, we didn't know shit. I was very naive. And I thought, well, if I make a space for the community, they'll come and they'll be good because it's community, and they won't be vile creatures. Wrong answer. And then I find out in this community around us that some people are charging like $25,000 for induction into like Yoruba, voodoo, whatever, Santeria, and over the course of the period of different colors, different crowns.
I mean,
what I can't believe is you people are paying it.
Stop it.
What the hell? This shit is not even costly in tradition.
No. Well,
it's understandable that you provide.
Time.
You're investing your time. Yeah. You're investing your energy. You're actually helping build, and you're trading things. It's more of a barter culture.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but culture.
Yeah, culture.
Culture. Modern Americans tend to look at things as everything's transactional.
It's not.
Like, oh, how much does it cost to be a guru?
Yeah. Here's $25,000. Thank you for my pretty certificate in a frame.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I'm so sad because there's so much dying in true tradition, and getting people to sit down and talk about it because they're so sick of the people on the other side, the know-nothings on the internet that nitpick every little thing and say, the gatekeepers. You know what we didn't have as traditional beings in tribes? Gatekeepers. Mm-mm. It was an oral tradition. We were happy to tell our children, our grandchildren, and our friends' children
all about it. Might have been a weirdo.
Yeah, it might have been. Well, that's what we're supposed to be. Up on the
hill, everybody's afraid to go up there. And I don't know.
But when you actually need them, you go.
Yeah. Motherfucker living in a chicken foot house.
Yeah. Thing running down the hill by itself. But yeah, that's what we were. That's what those people were. So you don't find a healer on every street corner. God, I'm starting to feel like it's a Southern Baptist Church convention.
Yeah.
There's a healer on every freaking corner.
Yeah.
You know how not possible that freaking is?
Or I'm a Reiki master.
Yeah.
You and every other white girl.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Please.
There's more to it than that.
Yes. Absolutely.
I know I'm bringing the dead horse back up on the table and shoot out of it again.
Yeah, but that's a pet peeve with us.
Stop it.
How many of you have mastered the manipulation of energy? So stop calling yourself a master.
Well, I took a Udemy course.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, if you can't use that energy to kill as well as heal, you ain't mastered shit.
Well, I'm an herbalist too.
Yeah.
I took a Udemy course on herbalism.
No. I'm sorry about those 3 people I killed. I didn't know that interaction was going to happen.
No. I've been listening to this one talk for all these years. People ask me complicated questions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just points.
I'm smart to pour stuff in bag.
Oh,
I picked up a couple things, just keeping my mouth shut and my ears open. But I would never purport to be an herbalist.
And I'm still not
Just not.
1/10 of the herbalist I would love to be. Yeah.
But you've been doing it since you could walk.
But I'm not a master.
Nobody is.
No, nor am I an expert.
But
I'm still learning.
Since you could walk with elders and then formal training with clinics and labs is a hell of a... I pour stuff in the bag and I do what she tells me to do.
Yeah, but I still have a lot of questions. Yeah.
But it is a science, and it is a course of study that's lifelong.
Yeah.
And it's not my forte. I'm very good at drinking it.
Yeah. I did teach you how to make pills. You can do that.
Yeah. Put the pill in the thing, put the stuff in the pill, squeeze the stuff together, pour pills in bag.
Yeah. There you go.
That.
And you can make a tincture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't discount yourself too much.
There are people in my level of knowledge that are calling themselves herbalists because they took a Udemy course.
I know. And because they poured some alcohol in a jar with an herb in it.
And they're selling herbs in baggies that have been sitting in the shelf for 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
And they're giving to people and telling them to ingest it.
And you shouldn't even be touching it. That should be going in the compost bin.
We won't even tell you to ingest it.
No.
Until you talk with your doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't like Western medicine. Okay.
Okay, but can you...
Then find a naturopath. Find somebody licensed.
Well, here, let me tell you something where
it.
Western medicine actually works for you.
Yeah.
When you need tests, because I don't have diagnostics. No. I don't have those machines.
No.
They're too expensive. When you need surgery, when you need a bone set, when you need a cyst removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you need them. So you do need them. You need people with these specific talents and that specific education.
Yeah.
And then when you go to them and you get your diagnostics, then you can come to the healer or the holistic physician and go, this is what they diagnosed me with. How can you help me?
Yeah, but do it in conjunction with.
Yeah.
Like...
You do need it.
And I tell people a million times, take pictures of the herbs so you can remember the names.
Yes.
Then go to your doctor.
Yeah.
And then
ask them if it's going to interact.
Let he or she help you.
Yeah.
Help guide you, because they're the ones that can prescribe. They're the ones that can legally guide you. We can't.
We can't.
It's not legal.
I want to take the course, and I could probably do it in short form.
Yeah.
Because I've already got pretty much all the knowledge.
But you still need to go with a physician.
But it's $8,000, and right now I can't afford that.
Yeah.
And if I do that, then I can be a full-on practitioner and I can prescribe. But it's really expensive, and it's prohibitive to me right now.
Yeah.
But it is something that I am planning.
I would love for you to do that.
Yeah.
But, people see the herb wall and just assume we're just anti-medicine. No, nothing could be further from the truth.
No. I'm anti-antibiotic for the most
I'm anti-stupid people putting shit in your body if you don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And just willy-nilly doing whatever, because I've been a victim of being that stupid person. And I don't want to see anybody else feel like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
When your electrical system is short-circuiting.
That was horrifying. You look like you had Tourette's.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
And so you have to remember it's first medicine.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. Herbs might not be hit you like a rocket, like a pharmaceutical will, because pharmaceuticals are engineered to be fast. But they will... it is medicine. And it can have really bad interactions.
Yeah.
So most of our advice is on the magical use. And if there's something to be taken internally, then you should always check with your doctor before you put anything. I mean, the teas are whatever. They're pre-blended for the most part, except for the couple that she pre-blends, and it's fine. But the herbs on the back wall, you have to be really careful.
Yeah, you really, really do. Because I've got some back there that will drop you doornail dead.
And they're for magical use. That's why we sell them, because they have magical properties.
Or
just
when
like
ingested, they can be deadly, but when smoked, they're not.
Yeah.
And you see, these are the things you need to know. You need to know the interactions and what they interact with. And some of them interact with each other. The herbs are just like any other medicine. They can interact badly with one another. You also need to know the contraindications. you also need to know the dosing. Okay. So I've recently made a mockery of my education in the last several years. I was like, I am so sick of having to test every single herb for the materia medica
I'm gonna do it all
that
at
I
once.
was building. So I was like, I'm going to get it over with. I'm going to do it all in a one day. I'm going to space it out an herb an hour.
Mistakes were made.
Oh my God! The next day I woke up, my face was as red as that paper back there, that vinyl sheet you see sitting back there, and my eyes would not undilate. And I was like, oh my God.
I fucked up.
What have I done? It was awful.
Yeah.
It was, and I felt absolutely crazy. Like it was like I could feel it, like everything in the universe. I could feel all the energy and hear all the noises and see all the things.
That's why we stress. We stress. It's written all over the website. We tell you in person every single chance we work with your doctor.
Yes.
Work with your doctor. Get a licensed physician to work.
And if you don't like your doctor, get another one.
Yeah, find a naturopath, somebody that is board certified that works exclusively with herbs if you don't want to use pharmaceuticals. But you got to have a doctor that listens to you.
Yeah.
You got to have a doctor that understands you and supports you. And if you don't have that, like Tay just said, find another one. But we really, really stress that.
And herbs take a long time to work.
Yeah, they do.
So if you've waited until you're bent over double in cramps from that gallbladder stone or that kidney stone, and until you're screaming in pain and pissing blood, you've waited too late to use herbs.
Yeah.
You've waited too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably gonna need a surgery.
Are we witches? Yes. But do we believe in science? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Science actually brought me back to witchcraft after my short atheist phase. So yeah.
Absolutely. And so, you have this tendency of people to just discount it. Or the people that wanted to jump on the bandwagon after we opened up and had herbs. And, I have herbs too. And they have the baggies and they're handing stuff to people. And
you don't know how long they've been sitting in the bag.
And you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
And you're not even sure, because you're not buying from a cooperative that deals with herbalist only.
Yeah.
You're not even sure if what's in the bag is the right herb or if it's marked with the specific species of that herb.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can get some that says, sure, it says it's Artemisia. Artemisia can be mugwort. Artemisia can be wormwood. It can be a dozen other things. How do you know what you're ingesting?
You have to know the appearance.
You really do. Yeah. You honestly do. And you need to know the smell and the taste. And that's what.
How do you know if that herb's gone bad?
Yeah. What was the building out of the materia medica all about? Like one of the things we did was profile the flavor. Then we profiled the action. And the profiled action was action internal and external. So, and then when you're profiling the flavor, sometimes that profile changes as the herb progresses through the system.
Yeah.
Did you get any did it come back up? Did you burp it up? Did it cause any gaseous conditions? What happened then? What was the flavor then? Does that feel like to you that it bittered your stomach? These things, it's everything. You have to think about it. Did it make you itchy? Did it make you achy? Did it alleviate aches? Did it make you high? Did you tingle? Things like that.
It's the ones in the area that saw the vast amount of herbs and they're like, oh, well, we're going to sell herbs too to compete.
It's so dangerous.
Look.
It's great if you just mark them for magical purposes. I got no problem with you selling
them
at all. Sell what you want, but mark them for magical purposes and stay out of the medicinal area of it because you could kill somebody so easy.
You got to be very careful.
I mean, there's so many things out there that will interact with something like a blood pressure medication that, God, probably 60 or 70% of people are on that walk through your door. And they'll interact badly and they'll cause that medication not to work. And pretty soon you've got an event going on that they're heavy palpitations, or the heart just stopping, or
it's first medicine.
Clammy sweats and stuff like that.
Pharmaceuticals for the most part are derived from herbal medicine.
Well, the ones that aren't now really scare me because they're synthesized. So it's just complete synthetic, and they really scare me because the body doesn't see that as an object that should be in there to start with, and so it attacks it. And that's the purpose of it in a lot of ways, so that you boost the immunes to get it to attack whatever is going on. That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope to like overloaded immunes, adrenal fatigue, the whole 9 yards. It's just a horrifying thing to think about. I call it robot monster medicine.
And I see a lot of people use herbs magically, and it's awesome. I see a lot of people that are just not sure about it or don't know. Or, maybe they're a big fan of using crystals or other things in their work, but herbs are a very powerful ally as well.
Yeah.
and whatever you're trying to do, whatever magical operation you're trying to do, you can find it in grimoire magic. You can find it in just about any discipline.
Agrippa.
Any discipline is going to have something to do with utilization of herbs as a magical tool.
And stones,
And that's why, really, we have such a variety, is because we want you to be able to have those resources.
Like in my altar, sacred smoke, lobelia, which is rabbit tobacco, which is what is used in the peace pipe.
Yeah.
So when I'm praying, I always kind of consider Tankishla, and I go, okay, I know that you carry my words, and I try to let you speak to me, but you carry my words to the spirits that it needs to get to. And so the offering is tobacco. And
scent is a very powerful
sense. Oh my God.
To, like, you remember, you can smell something in your youth, and then, 40 years later, somebody will walk by with that scent on them, and you're like right back, whoa. I mean, and it's very powerful. I mean, even if the herb's magical property is one thing, but just the scent of that herb burning can take you back to something else, or it can help as a booster tool.
I think I was just talking with Nathan about this, saying that something about past life regression and using scent for that, because it's so evocative of your past. And so the scent reminders, like gardenias when I was little were funerary flowers. So when we used to sit up with the dead, there were gardenias, but they're so heavily floral. Their purpose was to keep the smell of the dead down.
Right. It's like patchouli during the plague.
Yeah.
To kill the smell of the rotting corpses.
And then things like rose water, all your mothers had it, all your grandmothers had it, the rose water and the rose lotions and stuff like that. They're really quickly evocative. So when you're trying to regress, that aromatherapy really heightens that, what am I trying to say? When you're putting somebody in that hypnotic state.
Like a trance.
So it really enhances it and makes it more of a channel. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think people forget about the other senses.
Yeah.
They focus on the visual so much because it's what we can see or what we can touch.
And they're all important.
But the scent is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Smell is a huge thing. When you're scent, all that stuff transports you almost instantly.
It's like when I try to astral, I recreate everything.
Yeah.
Like I try to think about what the wind sounds like when I'm driving to the place where I'm trying to astral to, what the tires sound like on the road, the clicking of the telephone poles, if I'm hearing any birds, the scents that I'm smelling, like I'm driving past a field, a plowed field, a tobacco field, a cornfield, whatever. I'm trying to recreate all that in my mind to get me back there so I can go out and trying to recreate what it sounds like walking on their floor, opening the door, what the house smells like, that kind of thing. So it's a whole memory, and then I'm trying to remember textures and feels and what it feels like under my feet.
Those are the big triggers too.
Yeah.
Like everyone tries to, like, okay, I'm going back to my childhood, and they're visualizing something, but those details like that, the smell of it, the way it smelled, the way
the car smells,
the feel of it. You recreate that in your mind, and it pushes you through that last few feet.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you weren't quite able to get your vision going, then that can very well be something that pushes you through that edge.
I can still smell like the powder in the feather bed at my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
Like I can say it, and it just comes wafting in.
Yeah.
Or the smell of her wooden bowl full of flour for bread. She had one of those big bowls that you make biscuits in. And I can always smell that. It's the weirdest thing. Her apron's hanging on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can smell it.
Yeah.
So those things like that, the fresh laundry when you were little, evoke those feelings when you want to travel backward. And when we're talking about working in our past to fix our DNA and our trauma from the past, this is how you get there from here, is evoking those senses and letting it recall you back. Because you do block things. Your brain protects you from trauma. And so it blocks off whole sections of your life. Like there are years I couldn't remember. But it does that in order to protect you from the trauma and to protect your nerve endings from the trauma. So you got to get past that. And the only way to get past that and go back and repair whatever trauma's laying latent within the body is to get yourself into that sense and let yourself relax and travel back, and then it'll recall. But it's work. I mean, you have to really think it through. Yeah, you have to think it through, and you have to use a lot of things that are triggering to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no desire. Just leave that shit blocked.
No, see, that's the problem. It's there, and it's holding you back, brother.
I'm good.
You're not good.
You're good.
You're an angry human. I love you.
Oh, pot, kettle.
I don't deny that. Yeah, I don't deny that at all.
Pot, kettle.
Look, I will throw your pot right on the roof, and it will stay there for the rest of his days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So anybody out there in La La Land got anything that they're sick to death of, you're just fed up with it, and you want to air it out, let us hear from you. Even if you're not in the live today.
I'm tired of pickleweeds getting on here and bitching about stuff every fucking week.
Yeah,
That's what I'm sick of.
I've had it with that shit. I've had it with your bitching, John and Tay. I've had it.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Tough.
But I just want us to get real, because there's a lot going on that we're just kind of letting float by us on the surface because we don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's to our own peril.
Well,
and to
we
our own
think
detriment.
also that we can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. That we are powerless.
We forget how powerful we are.
And
there's more of us than them.
Right.
Yeah.
But, when you're all on your own
Yeah.
and everybody's so wrapped up in their own bullshit
Yeah.
that they don't even have time. You know what? Here's something I'm sick of. When you're talking to somebody and they've been talking to you for like 30 minutes straight about their own personal shit, and then when you try to have okay, my turn to talk, they do one of these.
And turn to somebody else and start talking to
and
them.
You're still talking to them.
Yeah. Yes. That fucking shit.
I'm like,
what the hell?
You just
Really?
came in here and regaled me for 30 minutes about personal shit to you that I'm supposed to give a fuck about. And when I go,
you just get as much as about out.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
So when that happens, I just go.
Yeah. And then people ask.
And I do.
Yeah. What's wrong with John? Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. You're a rude bitch.
Fucking gets on my nerves.
Yeah, it does.
It's just rude and it's dismissive.
Or talks over you when you're talking. Yeah, that's mine. That's my big pet peeve. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That used to happen with one particular one a lot. Like, she would get louder and louder and louder. And nothing she was saying was even about the conversation 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just had a fleeting thought into her pea brain for 2 seconds that she just had to get out there, and it's blurred.
Oh, I know.
Right over the top of everybody.
I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah, I am sick of that shit.
So there's as I've had it. I think we're just going to go. I'm sick of
that shit.
I'm sick of that shit.
Yep.
If you're going to engage in a conversation with someone, you should expect it to be a give and take.
Yes.
Right? It's not all about you vomiting whatever happened to you during the week. To give and take.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just drives me nuts.
I would love to think that. I would love to think that.
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's just take.
It's not. It's just take.
Just take it. Take it.
And I think that's a social media thing.
Yeah.
It's an instant gratification.
Let me give you an update.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I've been waiting all week for this. Let me take notes. What happened to you then?
I think it might possibly, even though we're utilizing it right this moment, I think it might be possibly the worst thing that ever happened to humanity. That face. It's the greatest face ever.
Fucking menthol. How do you voluntarily take
just like this?
Oh, it's like a fucking hot cough drop.
Oh, I love a hot cough drop.
I might need to exit and get a battery.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, you are bitching for it's 10:50.
So?
Yeah. So?
I'm sick of people putting time limits on me.
Kibosh that shit, John. Get it together.
No.
Yes.
I have way too much. Let me tell you about my day.
I want to hear about your day. Oh my god. I just want to talk about myself. Yeah.
And I get it. Nobody else listens to you. And it's...
There's somebody to listen to.
I got somebody I can hold captive.
Okay, I got one. Piggybacking off of that, I am so sick of people coming to me that want to chase the spirits out of their house.
Oh, my God.
I'm fed up with that. They were here before you. It's like the bear. They have rights, too. They were here before you. So one of the things I want to say, you always hear me say, you're not a human having a spiritual experience. You're a spirit having a human experience, okay? So are they. And so you're like, oh, but they're knocking on the walls and they're making noises and they're knocking things off. They are so fucking excited that you notice them. Can you imagine that you've been wandering around in this house forever and nobody ever notices you? Mm-hmm. Kind of feels like who you're married to, right? You're wandering around, you walk right by, they don't hear words you're saying. You're just going about your business, puttering around, and nobody even knows you're there. The spirit feels the same way. So the minute that they notice, okay, yeah, John, I saw that consternation on your face. But when
what do you mean who you're married
when
to?
you're in your video game, you don't know a goddamn thing that's going on with me. Not a thing. I could fall over dead in the next room, and you wouldn't know till you got off a video game. So, yeah, that's how the spirit feels too. You see his face? That's how the spirit feels too. You notice them. How about instead of trying to chase them out and mistreat them and abuse them, you sit down and have a conversation with them? How about you, and they may not speak back. They may. You may never hear a word out of their mouth. They might
be on hell dive difficulty getting chased by 3,000 fucking bugs.
Yeah, it's possible. But they will hear you, and they will feel the change, and they will feel comfortable. And they will understand that they are welcome in their own home. You're in theirs too. They're just passing through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just energy that got trapped here. So kind of show it a little love and a little respect. And I don't know, maybe try feeding it, leaving it something of yours. And making sure that it understands that it has a space and it's wanted and it has place. And you might see the whole activity in the house shift and change. And it might become something much more joyful instead of dark oogity boogity and scary.
Unless you're comforted by dark oogity boogity.
I am comforted by.
But I think people make those reactions based on Hollywood.
Yeah, I think they do too.
Because every movie, the spirit in the house is some dark evil
and all these
entity.
Freaking reality shows about ghost hunters.
Oh yeah.
Why are they all in green?
Hi, I have this device that picks up FM radio.
Yeah,
it's a ghost.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's FM radio.
Fuck off.
Oh my god.
Fuck right off.
Let me tell you something. If they want to speak to you, you don't need a meter. You don't need a speaker. You don't need
electrical equipment that's used for something completely different than what you're saying it's used for.
Yeah. It's the same equipment. They just renamed it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, it's a talking box or whatever the fuck they. Mm-hmm. No, just no. There's a whole industry built up on it because people have bought into that.
Yeah. And they happily bought into it.
And reality shows and all the money being thrown at it.
Yeah.
And, I want to be a ghost hunter.
How about you just learn that energy is constant? It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. So therefore, it has to go somewhere. It's a circle, okay? Energy is always going to be there. There's the same amount in the universe that there was from the beginning and will be at the end. And it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to disperse, and it's when you pass on, then your atoms, your molecules, they're going to pass right through the person nearest you when you passed on. I know that sounds crazy, but they're going to. They're going to pass right through their eyes, right through their ears, right through their mouths. So we're all Hitler, y'all.
You.
Yeah. I mean, but think about it. It's like it's dispersed and it's gone everywhere. Energy kind of redisperses itself and then gets taken up and becomes matter somewhere else. Okay, so.
It sounds like the egg theory.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck they're calling it. Or we're all ourselves.
We're all recycled materials.
Like you're me and I'm you.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody around you.
I think that's a little far-fetched.
Everyone around you is you at the same. Like, okay, somebody took too much blotter.
Yeah, that's a little too woo-woo love and light for me. But I don't think I can get on with that theory. But I do think that we get recycled and we become something different.
Absolutely. I mean, and I do think I agree with some form of reincarnation.
So somewhere I'm a wall.
Yeah.
Somewhere I'm a butt plug. I mean,
That's a shitty situation.
It's a shitty situation, but yeah.
But you get the point.
Yeah, you will get the point.
Finger guns.
To lube or not to lube? That's the question.
I got a nice piece of selenite out there. Perfect shape.
Oh, good God. Ouch. Yeah.
Is this a butt plug? Sure.
Mind the splinters.
Here's some Bactine. You're going to need it. It will cleanse your auras.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I think a lot of that comes from horror movies.
Yeah.
In Hollywood and their portrayal of what every spirit is negative and every spirit is hostile to humanity. And some of them were humanity. Most of them were.
I want you to look at the tribes and see how many of them are scared of spirits.
Are there hostile spirits?
Hell yeah. I'm a hostile spirit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like people can't have a relationship in this world because they have no empathy or understanding of what anyone else is going through.
Yeah. And
then they treat that the same way with the spirit world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't give a fuck what you went through and why you're here or why you're stuck. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a ghost hunting show and go, can you hear me? And then try to antagonize it so you can get some footage.
Yeah.
You know.
That shit is so rude.
It's so fake.
Rude. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm fed up. Yeah.
And that's another reason we don't do paranormal stuff.
Yeah. Because
look, if that's your bag, hey,
they're not paranormal to me. They're not paranormal to me.
And it's like it goes right along with that organization that wanted us to come speak at the Bazaar of the Bazaar or whatever they're calling it, Bazaar. Yeah. Right? Okay, so
what makes me bizarre?
My
I think you're pretty fucking bizarre.
Beliefs are bizarre, and you want to put me on a stage like it's a freak show.
Yeah.
So you can fire a bunch of inane questions I've heard 1,000 fucking times from other stupid motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And that's what you think of us. I said, well, okay, cool. So if Picky Weeds has a Bazaar of the Bazaar and we invite you of the Abrahamic faith to come up and we ask you a bunch of fucking crazy ass insulting questions, you ain't gonna be mad, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? And they're like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, you kind of did.
Yeah.
You just got called on it. Because you have a tendency to think that you're superior.
And why is everything bizarre?
Stop it.
That's another pet peeve.
If that's your belief, that's your belief. But don't call another belief system up on stage to be featured as, oh, look at this bizarre shit.
Yeah.
Okay, talking snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, burning bushes.
Really? Do you really want to get into Allegory Town?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Just saying. No disrespect to anybody of that religion.
Yeah.
But if you disrespect us, then
you're going to get it back in spades. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I just that really irritated me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's near your Halloween, so we've got to put some freaky shit on. Oh, I got another one.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
So there is a local radio station, not radio station,
television station.
They're barely television, but they had, and I'm not even going to name the program. It was a program supposed to feature local small businesses.
Yeah,
and it's marketed on their channel as, "Would you like your small business to be featured? We want to put the spotlight on local small businesses in the Scranton area, and give them some airtime. We'll send people out to interview you on camera and have a whole thing." And I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. They're like, email us here. So I emailed. Okay, cool. It made it sound like
they were community
let us
service.
Know. Yeah, we want to do a community thing to help the community.
They really prettied that shit up.
Because we know small businesses are struggling right now because everybody goes to fucking corporate stores instead of small businesses. So we want to throw you a bone.
Yep.
Sounds cool. So the response I got back was, "Hey, thanks for your interest in our program, but so it's $2,500."
Yeah,
and
you're funny.
And they'll come out and do a piece, and we'll film a 30-second commercial for your future use.
Yeah.
So
which means you'll have to pay for them to air it in the future.
The implication would be, okay, $2,500, which might as well be $25 million. Mm-hmm. And we'll come do a piece on it. We may or may not air it. And then we'll shoot a commercial, which you may use before, and then we'll charge you for that too. And I'm like, really? Thanks so much for helping out the small business in your area.
Yeah. They're not helping anybody, trying to help themselves to your pocket. We're already suffering. We're already like the second highest small business loss in the nation during COVID was this state.
Yeah, behind Michigan.
Right behind Michigan.
Yep.
And so we lost more of our mom and pops than any other state outside Michigan during COVID and after COVID. Because, they didn't help us. They helped the churches. They helped their business friends. Right. Like we had a governor here that he had a family that had his old furniture plant. They deemed it necessary business. What do they call it?
I don't even remember the terminology they came up with, but it was
essential
yeah.
business. They deemed that a furniture factory essential.
Cabinets are essential.
One of the senators had a candy making factory. Mm-hmm. They deemed that essential and gave them a waiver. Yeah, and it was not until the public outcry that they made both of them rescind their waivers and shut down for COVID like the rest of us did.
Yeah, it's a two-tiered system. Yeah. You know, criminal justice system is two-tiered. Everything is two-tiered. Yeah. Depends on how much you got.
Yeah. You know? But we got nothing. We got nothing in the way of, what was it? The PP whatever loans they have.
I don't remember.
I was so mad.
We didn't get
and
it,
then
so I didn't bother
after the ERC, they disqualified us from it, even though we didn't open our doors until March, our physical location, because we had the audacity to plan ahead and get our LLC paperwork done in November.
Yeah, so the business was founded in 2019, even though the store itself didn't open until March 1st, 2020.
Yeah.
Which the March 1st, 2020 met their requirements.
Yeah.
But because the EIN was filed in 2019, November, just literally a few months. Oh, you're not qualified.
It's disgusting.
You're out.
Any way they can do not help you. And not that I mind churches getting help, because they do a lot of good community service. They do.
Absolutely.
But they don't pay taxes.
Nope.
And those of us who do pay taxes and are your tax base are the small businesses, and they should have gotten the help first. And I know so many that didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That actually tanked because of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And look at all the fraudulent ones that senators were getting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Millions of dollars in those loans.
Same senators
PPP
are
loans.
allowed to inside trade.
Yeah.
They come into Congress and they don't have any money, and they leave, and they're several $100 million richer.
And then they take a job at a lobbying firm with one of the firms that was actually
it's so
paying
fucking
them.
corrupt.
Yeah.
I wonder why people that are disenchanted. I haven't been able to figure it out.
So if you want to know how to do this for yourself, and I mentioned this in the video that I did yesterday, if you want to see who your senators have in their stock portfolio, you can Google it, guys.
Yeah.
You can Google it. And then when you want to know if that senator is playing dirty pool with those stock funds and that they're those investors and those investments, you can go and you can look at the legislations that they put forth at your local congress.gov or senate.gov website, and look at the bills that they've sponsored or the bills that they've signed, and see how they relate to these stocks that they've been investing in, and realize who you need to kick out of the damn house.
And they all do it.
Every one of them does it, both sides of the damn aisle.
Yeah. So here's my strategy going into November. If you're an incumbent, I don't give a fuck what party you're in. I don't care. I don't care if you're an independent. I don't give a shit. If you're an incumbent, you've been holding office.
Yeah.
Out.
Bye.
Out.
Bye.
All of you. Because you've either been complicit in pushing forward things that hurt the population, that are pro-corporate America and anti the people, or you've sat there and done nothing. And either way, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. If you're an incumbent, I'm voting for whoever is going against you. You got to go.
And you know what's going to happen in November if Project 2025.
It's terrifying.
If they win on the right with Project 2025, they're going to take away public education. They're going to give it to Christian schools.
They're talking about dismantling the EPA, all the federal agencies. And look, I am against federal bloat.
Yeah.
I think we hit some regulation is needed, but sometimes we go way overboard with nanny laws and bullshit.
The EPA, the FCC, there's a couple of other organizations in there.
If you're of a minority religion, or if you're a minority
person
in your gender or lack thereof, or in sexuality, whatever, you really need to be paying attention, because we're all in this boat together. And, even if you're not, we're in this boat. All the people are in this boat together. And it really affects everybody. And people are like, I don't pay attention to politics. I don't give a shit. Well, you fucking better.
Yeah, because they're planning to take away all reproductive rights.
Oh, that's conspiracy
including,
theory.
You can go read it for yourself. Heritage Foundation, Project 2025. Look at all the co-sponsors. Look at all the money that's poured in to support it. They're not even trying to hide it.
You can order the book. It's about that thick.
And it's their master Bible.
And people haven't even heard of it, and they're out there with it. So, I mean, if you're not going to get involved now, it might be too late to get involved then.
So, ladies, listen, they're not just taking away abortion. They're going to call abortion murder. They're going to also take away access to STD testing, birth control, and IVF. And he's holding his nose while he vapes. They're going to end programs that address climate change. They're going to end public education and divert all that public money to private and Christian schools. They're going to encourage racial discrimination. They're going to bring that back and end the Fair Housing Act, in the act that ensures racial equality. They're going to do a mass deportation and reduce immigration, dismantle the Department of Homeland Security. They're going to insert Christian nationalist ideology into the mainstream, assuming that America is a Christian nation and it should have a privileged place in society. They're going to give unchecked power to the president. They're going to take away the right to Congress and Senate to intercede and make sure that he's not abridging the rights of the executive branch. It's a horror show. It's a horror show. And so I went to try to debunk this because I thought this has got to be some alarmist bullshit. This cannot be real. This has to be some alarmist and they're just trying to, pander for votes for the other side. I can't.
Mm-mm.
I wanted to. I wanted to think that this was just alarmist bullshit and that I shouldn't be upset about it. But I can't. And so if you can, I would love for you to reach out and show me where you found it and show me how you can debunk it and show me how they couldn't do it. Because I thought with all our checks and balances on the executive, how could they possibly implement this? Well, they've already bypassed those checks and balances.
Yep.
So there you go. So if you can debunk it, please, 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 for all that is holy, reach out to me and let me know because I would love to sleep better at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And good God, lady.
That was loud, wasn't it?
But this fucking cough is killing me now. But yeah, I mean, I think we need some definite reforms in the government. But I don't know about what they're trying to do. So I mean, if you haven't read it before you form an opinion, you should probably go take a look.
Oh yes, most definitely.
But I think we've been talking for almost an hour and 21 minutes.
Yeah.
You got your sound on.
I know.
So
I've got feedback. I'm going to turn my sound off. Yeah. There we go. I wonder where the hell that was coming from. Old people with a phone.
If you've lasted this long, I need a battery for my vape because that menthol shit's killing me.
This poor guy.
Oh, God, it's like smoking a cough drop.
You're lighting the lungs, buddy.
Oh, it's terrible. But, thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Stand up for yourself. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of In the Weeds, and we hope you didn't have to pick too much pucker brush off your cloak after visiting with us here. If you liked the episode, please follow, subscribe, and share. And if you're really kind, leave a positive review. Be sure to tune in next week as we publish a new episode weekly. If you're in the area, stop by the store and see us. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.